Time to know the news of the week. I'm Hannah Tabios. This is the MB Rundown. Retired police official Rudy Lacadin, the former chief of the Central Luzon Regional Police Office, has dragged Philippine National Police Chief General Oscar Albayalde into the Ninja Cups mess. In the continuation of the Senate hearing on the rogue police officers, Lacadin recalled that Albayalde, who was the Pampanga police director at that time, called him to ask about the investigation on the anomalous 2013 drug raid in Pampanga involving a foreign drug lord.
He called me up, actually. And ang usapan, I cannot exactly remember the conversation, but ang maalala ko is that, Sir, ay parang na-investigahan nyo daw kami. Yun ang tono. So sabi ko, yes, Oka, I cannot inform you na nagkakandak ako ng investigation because this is just a validation. But if you are nothing to hide, wala naman kayong dapat katakutan. No? Yun yung aking tono. And ang sabi niya is, I don't know if joking niya, sabi niya, actually, sir, konti lang naman ang napunta sa akin dyan.
But Lacadin said he did not seek elaboration from Albayalde because he did not want to be influenced with their ongoing validation process. In fact, he noted that the two of them were friends and were former business partners. But the police chief averred that Lacadin's allegation against him was unlikely, stressing that the retired police official has a lot of explaining to do. He said that Lacadin was also General Benjamin Magalong's former deputy officer at the Criminal Investigation and Detection Group or CIDG. Magalong, now mayor of Baguio City, first dragged Albayalde's name into the alleged police drug recycling scheme. But on Wednesday, Magalong called Albayalde a liar after dismissing allegations against him. The Transportation Department refuted the claim of militant group Bagong Alyansang Makabayan or Bayan that the country is now facing a mass transport crisis. Transportation Secretary Arthur Togade maintained that the government is exhausting all efforts to address the backlogs in the country's public transport infrastructure. Togade said there is no transport crisis, rather, there are prevailing transportation issues and problems. But he said the agency has been employing a catch-up plan to expedite the construction and operationalization of various transport infrastructure projects in the country, such as the Metro Manila Subway, MRT-7, and other railway projects. The issue stemmed after Bayan Muna Secretary General Renato Reyes Jr. said in a Facebook post last week that Manila was suffering a mass transport crisis following a series of glitches on the three major railway systems in the metropolis in just 1 week. But the palace also refuted Reyes' claim, to which presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo received backlash from the irked commuters. The Implementing Rules and Regulations or IRR of the landmark Universal Healthcare Law was finally signed on Thursday. In his speech during the ceremonial signing in Manila, Health Secretary Francisco Duque III said the event is only the first step to actively improve the health literacy, the health environment, and the social determinants of health of every Filipino. The IRR would guide the department and its partner agencies in implementing the law. The health chief also assured that reforms, primarily in the State Insurance Corporation PhilHealth, are underway to eradicate fraudulent activities. The UHC bill was enacted into law on February 20, aiming at improving a full range of health care services for Filipinos from preventive to promotive, curative, rehabilitative, and palliative at an affordable cost. After 4 years, the Supreme Court has upheld the validity of a legal provision that government nurses should be paid a higher basic pay or a minimum monthly salary of around 29,000 pesos. In a decision penned by Senior Associate Justice Antonio Carpio, the High Court granted partially the petition filed by Ang-NAR's party list in 2015, which sought the tribunal to compel the government to implement Section 32 of Republic Act 9173 or the Philippine Nursing Act of 2002. In a statement, the Supreme Court said nurses working in government institutions like hospitals and military camps must be paid at salary grade 15 higher than their current salary grade 11 category. But the High Court said a separate law is needed from Congress to provide the needed funds. On Wednesday, Health Secretary Francisco Duque III said he is supporting the court's proposal as he recognizes the vital role of nurses in the country's healthcare system. U.S. President Donald Trump declared war against U.S. House Democratic leaders over his impeachment inquiry. The White House announced that it would not cooperate with the House probe, citing that it was an illegitimate effort to overturn the results of the 2016 U.S. presidential polls. In a letter addressed to the House Democratic leaders, the White House said the move had violated precedents and denied Trump's due process rights by leaving him with no choice. On Wednesday local time, Trump said the case would probably end up in the U.S. High Court.
Then it turns out that the whistleblower is a Democrat, strong Democrat, and is working with one of my opponents as a Democrat that I might end up running against. The whole thing is a scam. It's a fix. And we wrote a letter yesterday, and probably ends up being a big Supreme Court case. Maybe it goes a long time. I don't know.
Last month, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi started the impeachment proceedings of Trump. This was prompted on the premise of whether Trump overreached his power by requesting Ukraine to investigate former U.S. Vice President Joe Biden and his son Hunter in an attempt to influence the 2020 U.S. elections. Biden was among Trump's chief political rivals in the presidency next year. Biden said the U.S. leader had violated his oath of office, betrayed their nation, and committed impeachable acts. Meanwhile, these are the other top news of the week.
Cultural activist Carlos Celdran has died on Tuesday, a few days after he launched the Rizal walking tour in Madrid, Spain. His death was confirmed by his wife Tessa in a Facebook post citing that her husband died of natural causes. Celdran moved to Spain in January after the Supreme Court upheld the 2012 ruling that convicted him for a blasphemy case over an anti-church act he made in September 2010 at the Manila Cathedral. He was known for his piece, If These Walls Could Talk, a walking tour about the history of Manila. On October 19, a tribute walking tour will be held in Intramuros, Manila to celebrate his life as a cultural activist. Philippine Charity Sweepstakes Office or PCSO board member Sandra Cam denied her alleged involvement in the killing of Batuan Town Masbate Vice Mayor Charlie Yuson III. In a statement, Cam maintained her innocence and said she has nothing to do with the ambush. The Manila police said politics is being eyed as the motive in the killing. Yuson was shot dead on Wednesday in an eatery in Sampaloc, Manila. The Education Department in Davao Region officially closed 55 schools for indigenous peoples operated by Salugpongan Tatano Iganogon Community Learning Center Incorporated. These after their permits to operate were suspended for allegedly teaching left-leaning ideologies. The closure affected around 3,500 students and more than 30 teachers. Bayan Muna Representative Eufemia Colyamat strongly condemned the move, citing that the government only wanted the Lumad to remain unschooled and ignorant amid intrusion into their ancestral domain.
Let's take a quick recap of the MB rundown for today, October 11. Retired police official Rudy Lacadin tags PNP Chief General Oscar Albayalde into the Ninja Cups mess. Transportation Department denies the claim of militant group Bayan that the country is now facing a mass transport crisis. Implementing Rules and Regulations or IRR of the landmark Universal Healthcare Law was finally signed on Thursday. The Supreme Court upholds around 29,000 pesos basic salary grade for government nurses, and U.S. President Donald Trump declares war against House Democratic leaders over his impeachment inquiry. And that's the MB Rundown. I'm Hannah Tabios.